And here we are. Yes, we are recording.
Right.
Hello, Instagram. Yes, we're on. Instagram is there. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Hello, people on Instagram. How are you? Yes. Here we are. Our lunch chat on love. How awesome. How awesome is love? Uh-oh. David, what are you doing? We are today in a new location. Isn't this awesome? This is, David, what's the name of your studio? This is David Langley's recording studio. Hi, David.
Hello. Hi.
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 Are you
how
done?
Are you?
Yeah.
How can you do that? Hi. How are you?
What's the name of, I just wanted to name the name of your studio. No, the name of your studio. Do you know it? Do you have it?
Langley Recording.
Langley Recording out of Nashville. Well, it's actually Franklin, Tennessee. So if you have any music you'd like to record it, just give us a call. We'll do it right here and it's going to be great. So, how's everybody? Romano! Hello, Romano! Bocca così. My God. Hello, everybody. Hi, Catherine's here today. Hi, Ren. There's...
Drop yem. Backwards.
Let's just say hi to everyone. You know, we usually get a lot of people from all over, from Europe and Croatia and Bosnia, Slovenia, all over America. So it's just wonderful to have you all here. Yes, today we don't have any agenda, anything to really talk about except love. Love, love, love. Love is all you need. Do, 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 do. Love is all you need. Nah. Love is all you need. Oh, yeah. Is that how you do it? I don't know. I always don't know what to do with the other. Aw, that's quick. Oh, that's, I guess. Okay.
Or after Croatian coffee.
Yes. So David has been
partaking
in the experience of Croatian coffee, which is really, 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 really strong. And there's a reason why we all will serve it in small cups, not like American size Turkish coffee. No good. Yeah, that's not really good. No. Okay, so love is a wonderful thing, turns the winter and spring. Yes. Yes. If you have a good someone to keep you warm. Yes. Awesome. So I want to talk to you about love. So love, how do we experience love? Obviously through relationships. It's very difficult to experience love on your own, right? Like, it's very difficult. What do you think about that, David?
Very true.
Very true, okay.
Unless you learn to love yourself, which you should.
And that's what I was getting at. Thank you so much. So that'll
be $5.
How do we experience love in relationship if we don't first have that self-love? All right, but that's also a relationship. That is a relationship with that yourself and who you are, right? And also, if you believe in God, if you have a faith in God, then that's where the relationship with God is going to happen, deep within, and through all the other relationships that you have, right, between you and people, you and nature, everything, you and the creation. That's where we experience love of God as well. So let's, what I always wondered, and I don't know, David, do you grew up? Did you grow up Christian?
I haven't grown up yet.
Oh, okay. When you were little, did you have Christian upbringing?
For a while.
Some.
A little bit, yeah. Why?
Because when I only really studied Christianity and came to it when I was in my early 20s, and my always like the first thing is like, love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. That's the first commandment. And then the second, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so we talk a lot about, how to love God and, all that. And then how to love your neighbor. But the part that's always missing for me, or was missing, was how do you really love yourself?
Whiskey.
Really, I was going to talk about
Just
that. You know, whoever teaches us how to really healthy love ourselves, what does that healthy self-love look like? Do you have any answers?
Not this time.
Not this time. You know, who teaches that? I mean, when was the last time you went to church that, you know, the sermon was, okay, let me tell you people how to self-love. Because we often think self-love is something bad, you know, like selfish or self-centered or self or arrogant. We're taught, and it's good, other people come first. You know, God obviously comes first. But if you don't have that self-love, understanding of that love, it's very difficult to then create those relationships in your life through which you will find love. So the first, so what is really self-love?
What'd your mom say?
My mom says that you love her coffee when she makes coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
David has a relationship with my mom
Makes me coffee.
through coffee.
I don't need an airplane to get back to America.
Right. So strong. Okay, so here's, you know, several things about self-love, healthy self-love, because self-love is also a relationship. Okay, wait, I want to say something, you know, pay attention right now.
Okay.
So, self-love is also obviously a relationship with our true self, okay? Not with our, a part of us that wants something, you know, like that, or a part of us that's unhealthy. How do we get there? Well, in any relationship, how do you learn about another person? By listening, right? By observing them, by hearing them, what they're telling you. So the first step in healthy self-love is the awareness, mindfulness about you. You know, what thoughts am I thinking? What am I saying to myself? I don't know how many of you were here on a live chat when I did, you know, when I told you a story how it took me a long time to accept myself without makeup, without being all, you know, dolled up and photoshopped.
You don't like that word.
I don't, you're right. And it took me a long time to get up and look myself in the morning in the mirror and say, no, you're beautiful, just the way you are. All right, so I observed that. I observed how much it wasn't hatred, it was just not acceptance I had. So that was part of my observation. I listened because that was bothering me. That caused a lot of my actions. All right. So there's a psychologist that says self-love is state of appreciation for yourself and grows from actions that support our well-being. So the distractive thoughts and distractive actions do not support that self-love. Okay, so we have to observe that. We have to observe ourselves, listen, just like we would in a relationship. You know, when you love somebody, you hear them when they say, oh, I love flowers. Well, you're going to bring them flowers, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very difficult to observe yourself if you have never done it. We're not our thoughts. We're not our bodies. We are this awareness. That's our true self, right? Our bodies are the way they are. We can't, you know, that there's a self-acceptance and self-love that has to come from the awareness that this is my body. It's beautiful the way it is. I want to keep it healthy. I want to do whatever I can to it for its well-being, right? I want to sleep enough. I want to exercise. I want to give it good food, good nourishment. In order to then, by doing those actions, I show appreciation for that body, right? Because I know that I need this body in order to experience life. I can't live without this body, right? If I get sick, I can't do anything. So that awareness is who we truly are. And then through that awareness, from the place of awareness, which is a soul, some people think of it as a soul, right? Mm-hmm. We accept who we are in this body. And then we observe our thoughts. You know, everybody's saying, you know, I hear voices, right? Your thoughts are not you. The thoughts are the activity of the brain.
I'm not the only one that hears voices.
You know, we all hear voices. And some people hear voices louder than others. You know, so we have to observe which voices are telling us that we're bad, you know, and which voices are true, that we can really, which thoughts can we think to help us to live well, better, and develop this really healthy awareness and self-love. Does it make sense? Yes. It does to me. And I worked really, really, really hard for many, many years, because you know what? When I was very young, I was 19 when I became a superstar in Croatia, and I had this beautiful image. I was this beautiful girl, little doll, you know, that was always happy and smile. I didn't know, it was so overpowering, overbearing, that it was easy for me to forget who I was. And I observed myself as this pop star, and really, really grieving for the person that I had lost. And because I was so young, I was a teenager, I really didn't have really a good idea of who I was. And there was a lot of other things that caused me to, you know, have a very bad opinion about myself. And a lot of people shamed me for a lot of things. You know, my parents were very, very supportive. My mom's right here. You know, she was always giving me this positive image about myself. But, you know, she's my mom. I believed other people who didn't have a lot of good things to say about me a lot more. Have you experienced that, David? When you believe what other people tell you about you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my 12-year-old Blaze, no, 13-year-old, but he was about 11 or 12. He was, you know, some kids were not nice to him, let's just put it that way, you know, in school. And what he did was he actually set the alarm on his phone to every, I don't know, few hours, to pop up with a message, "You are awesome. Blaze is awesome." Just to reinforce the positive image of himself in the face of these voices that were coming on the outside. They were saying, "Oh, you're, you know, whatever, you're this or that." I'm not going to even repeat some of the things that people said about my child, you know. So back to healthy self-love. There's a saying as old as time, right? You can't love, how can you love another person if you don't love yourself? Have you heard that?
Absolutely.
Yes. So self-love doesn't mean, oh, you know, it's not arrogant. It's not, you know, something that, oh, you know, I love myself, so I'm going to get this and that and demand the world to give you everything. No. Or to put myself in front, before others. No. I talked about transformation, how unless our change and the work that we do on you know, inner work serves others, we're never going to be satisfied. We have to have this giving, right, element of why we're changing, why we want to be better, to serve because we love the people around us, and really, if you are a believer, if you have such faith that you believe in God, we want to serve this God who is love, right? It's so wonderful, but it starts from within. It starts from a healthy self-love. So let's practice self-love. First of all, take care of your, observe, be mindful. What are your thoughts telling you? How many times a day you say, "I'm stupid"? Well, you wouldn't say that to someone you love, would you?
No.
No. Okay. Act out of your needs, not out of your wants. You know, come closer so we can have this as a dialogue. You know, how many times, like, you want M&Ms?
Right now.
Right now, yes. And you just get M&Ms.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want M&Ms. This is just an example.
What if I want M&Ms?
Okay, you can, but listen.
Aren't you listening to me?
I am listening to you. The thing is, you think, "Oh, I want M&Ms," where what you really need is sleep or rest, or maybe to stop and take a breath, and you know, your body's craving sugar. Why? Because it's overstressed. And then you eat 7 bags of M&Ms and you feel awful.
Unless you eat WWs.
Yes, in that case, it's all good. Even worse, "I need a drink." How many times did you say that to yourself? I need a drink, right?
I used to say it a lot.
that's really, I want a drink because if I have a drink, I will relax. But your body's saying you need to stop, you need to breathe, you need to still yourself, you need to rest, right? Our world doesn't support self-love. Our world supports us, wants us to be productive, super productive, overproductive, almost like martyrs. Oh, I only sleep, 5 hours a day, and I go, and I'm busy. That's good. That's really glorified, right? There's no room for self-love in that existence. Only self-arrogance and self-importance, which is not the same. All right, I'm going to take a little pause here and see who's up here. We have a lot of people joining us on Instagram. So good to have you all here from all kinds of different parts of the world. I love you too, baby. It was your... wow, I'm getting some love messages here, for real. I love you all too. Unfortunately, in Croatia, people can be very opinionated about other people and their looks. And when you try to find a job, if you're bigger, forget about it. Oh my goodness, Martina, you brought such a great point. How can we even have this self-love in a culture that glorifies one type, right, of a person? That's a big problem. You have something to say to that too, don't you?
Well, yeah, the music business, you have to be a certain mold. They care about you on the outside, not the inside.
Yeah.
And if you don't fit that mold, then you feel like they don't like you as a person, and that's not right. It's not good.
No, it really skews the
Excuse me.
No, not excuse you. It skews the self-image. You
Right.
always comparing. Another thing that the psychologists say about self-love is you can't compare yourself to other people. And you're right. I mean, you can't. She says you can't even have a job because they judge you on your appearance. Mm-hmm. I was just in America. I was just listening to a beautiful, African American woman who was saying the same thing. Forget about it. People see the color of your skin, and you don't have the same opportunities. They tell you different things. These kids, there's a lot of kids that grow up with very, very bad self-image. And when you have a bad self-image, it's very difficult to nourish and develop that healthy self-love. And then how can you really, find a good relationship where you will recognize someone loving you? You can't accept it, even when they love you.
The media is part of that problem.
Absolutely, yes.
My childhood history and from 16 on, I was basically on my own. And I've been in the music business since then. Mm-hmm. And so all I've seen are, magazines with you have to look this way, you have to look that way, or you're not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good. And that leads into all kinds of troubles and destructive behaviors.
Can I say that's BS?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
that's BS.
Absolutely. Yes. Let's call it. Let's call the BS. Call it out, We got to do that. That's what we're doing here. Yes. Baby Doll says, quotes RuPaul Charles, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? So true. And Baby Doll, thank you for bringing that up. How can you even love God or the creation universe if you don't love who you are, who God created you? There's a lot of, I struggled for years with the thought or belief that says we're all bad we're all bad. Like we start out bad. I love Richard Rohr, who says, what if the world started with the original blessing, not the original sin? Mm-hmm. I love it because yes, creation was created from the original blessing, right? We create out of love. So that thought that, and oh my gosh, I just beat myself to the ground. Yes, we all do stuff, like we all have these behaviors that always come from lack of self-love, healthy self-love, that then make us feel bad and awful. Oh, I'm horrible. I try to kill myself. I wanted to kill, a lot of my Croatian friends, they'll say, Taichi, we wanted you back. And I couldn't, people. I couldn't. I hated myself. so much because I had gotten into so much trouble and caused so much emotional pain to myself and others. And until I realized, I have a song, we're going to sing that song, you know, I failed again, that yes, I'm going to love that person inside that God created. I was saying, you know, I love God, but I hate the person that I am. Well, that doesn't make sense because God had created me, right? It's really simple, but it's really hard because we have so many things that we have to let go of. Oh, yes, another thing, letting go, practice letting go. Yes, the thoughts, the beliefs, everything that you know, all these bad self-images, letting go is very, very important in self-love.
Intrusive thoughts. Intrusive
thoughts. Yes, the ones that kind of like, you know, you're happy, you go about the day, and then an intrusive thought comes and says, yeah, but you're just not good enough, or you're too old, or you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too blonde, you know, whatever. And that intrusive thought will sometimes sabotage and kill everything that you work for. So be mindful of that comes in. And one really, really awesome advice that I've heard is just, you know, clean your closet. People, you know, this one therapist suggests clean your closet. Every now and then, clean your closet because you are practicing letting go. Saying, oh, I love this shirt. But the shirt really is, you know, it's like, it's raggy and doesn't look good anymore, and let go.
I clean my closets. I clean my house out, and plus the stuff that I can't use or don't want anymore, it gets rid of clutter, just like you get rid of clutter in your mind. Yes. And you can give those items to people that need them too.
Yes, for as long as they're not items that are destructive.
No,
right?
No, of course not.
Like I mean, because you made a really, really good comparison.
Yeah.
Here, you can have this voice. You can have the no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's look at Facebook. Patty, just a quick prayer request. We had to put our mother in nursing home. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear, Patty. We'll all send you love and prayers. Edita, pozdrav iz Zagreba. Novi Travnik, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Mama is there listening. Tom from Chicago.
Hi, Tom.
Hi. Berlin. Oh, hello, Željka from Berlin. TJ, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, we miss you too. Well, David and I will come play in Florida very soon.
Paula Dana.
Paula.
Jerry Norris Smith. Hey,
Paula.
Jeannie, sorry. I don't have my glasses.
Jeannie. Yes, Jeannie. Awesome. I was just talking about Florida. Željka, idol moje mladosti. Oh my gosh, yes. There's a lot of memories. Željka says she had the same hairdo as I did. I mean, it was the whole, we were all, you know, we loved connecting on that level. It was wonderful.
I used to have that same haircut too.
Tai Chi haircut? You didn't even know me. That was a lie. Your nose is growing. You're poking me with your nose. John's here. John, hey, we missed you.
Hey,
good to have you here. Yes. Tomislav, thank you, Tomislav. Yes. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to now pick up guitars and we're going to do some songs on love. There's so many, right? It was so hard to pick. And then at 1 o'clock, which is 8 p.m. in Europe, we're going to do live chat in Croatian language for all of you who have been here and requesting it, and be really patient. I understand sometimes it's difficult to communicate in English, and I really appreciate your patience and understanding because we get to reach a lot more people speaking in English, so thank you. But yes, 8 o'clock your time if you're in Zagreb or Croatia or even some parts in Europe, and 1 p.m. here. I did let go. Sad thing is I was able to let it go when I moved to Canada, where I was accepted and people looked at my talent, not my size. It's unfortunate that I had to leave my Croatia to get self-love. Yes, and you know, another thing that psychologists do recommend in developing self-love and nourishing self-love, healthy self-love. Again, I want to point this out. It's not self-arrogance or self-importance. It's the healthy self-love, which we absolutely need to have any kind of good, healthy relationships in our lives. So, it is one of the points that they bring out is to get out of the toxic environment. Get out of the, frenemies is the term that one psychiatrist said is very telling. People that are that feed on your unhappiness. No, you just don't want to waste your energy or time on people like that. We want to be compassionate. I always bring up, they're probably going through some things themselves, but we do have to have boundaries and get away from everything that depletes us and not lets us grow. Now, when we develop that healthy self-love, and we are strong, and we're centered, and we're rooted in love, then we become the change, and we have an opportunity just by showing up to affect the world around us, and even affect those who have been critical or negative about us. Not in a direct way. I'm not talking about going to your, person that has put you down so many times and try to change them. No, just show up from this new place of love. That's all we have to do. More of us do that, the world will gradually change.